Is Monday, so it is leg night. We are doing heavy deadlifts tonight, so we're going to start with deadlifts. Last week we started with heavy squats. When I say heavy, I loosely mean the word heavy because by no means am I lifting heavy like I used to. Jen is going to be deadlifting tonight for the first time, but Jen cannot pull 135 off the floor. Not yet. So we're going to start her on rack pulls. That way she can get the same movement as deadlifts off the floor with a lighter weight.
Why didn't you just use that one?
What do you mean?
Never mind.
Yep. Yeah.
My apologies.
Yep. So amateurs over here. So she's going to be pulling from the rack, so that way she can start with a higher position and we can get her familiar with the movement and build up the muscles involved with the deadlift, so that way she can actually work towards pulling 135 off the floor, which honestly shouldn't take you that long to do. I don't think it'll take you that long to be able to pull 135 off the floor. But so much stuff we have to move around. I need a bigger.
Tell me what to do so I can.
Be useful. That's what. No.
I don't know what you're doing.
I know you don't. That's why I'm setting it up. Don't worry about it. I'm just getting you ready to do some rack pulls. So basically, rack pulls is like a modified version of deadlifts. It's going to be the same exact thing, except we're going to be pulling from the rack, lower starting position. But I have a small little platform I'm going to have you stand on over here. That way it kind of gets you up,
A little off the ground.
yeah, closer to more of a position of a real deadlift. And this will help build your strength up to be able to pull off the floor. But once you go to full range, obviously it's going to feel different. So yeah, you're just going to set up position here.
Like where you can see the toes.
Yeah, well, this is going to be a different position from that. So just get your hand grip, get your back flat, and then you're just going to pull from a dead stop. And then pull from a dead stop. So it will build your strength up and get you closer to doing an actual deadlift off the floor, and that's the goal. Once we can start pulling probably like 185 out of the rack, I'm almost confident you could pull 135 off the floor. Yeah. Simple, right? And this way you could go up in weight and you could work on getting heavier. The goal tonight, since we have no idea where your deadlift is, we're going to do, just like with everything else for the 3 movements, we're going to do sets of 5 up to 50%-ish. And then switch to singles, pull singles up to whatever our working weight is, and then do a set of 5 with that. Since we don't technically know what your 1 rep is or anything of the sort, or your 5 rep, we're just going to play with how it feels. If we could get you to 200 pulling out the rack for 5 tonight, that'd be great. Because if we could do 200 for 5,
200 pounds?
yeah, even 185 for 5. It's going to be a lot easier than what you think pulling from this height.
Okay.
It's going to be a lot easier. So don't sell yourself short. But oh my God, I'm a girl, 200 pounds. That's so crushing the mind.
I'm excited at the thought of being able to pull 200 pounds.
Right. Let's go for 200. Let's see where close we could get you to 200 for 5. And then we can build on that, and then we can get you to actually pulling off the floor, which would be fantastic. Now, of course, this height is a lot higher.
Yeah.
So obviously we're going to have to get this a lot higher than what we would be from pulling from the floor. It's a different animal.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's going to build it up to be able to get to that point. Oh, man. And now I'm going to be pulling from the floorsers. Let's see. And guys, I say I'm doing this powerlifting routine. I don't powerlift no more, but I love powerlifting. And powerlifting isn't just about being like the strongest. Well, it is. I'm gonna lie, it is. It's about being the strongest person in the room all the time. Like, I am the powerlifter. When you're competing, you always want to train to win. You never want to train to lose, but I'm not competing in powerlifting. I don't know if I ever will again, but I know with powerlifting, the whole purpose of powerlifting is becoming stronger than what you currently are. Since I haven't deadlifted, squat, or bench in over probably 4 years, seriously, I've done it here and there a little bit, maybe a week or 2, 3 weeks, then I'd stop, but I haven't seriously deadlifted, bench, or squat in over 4 years. So my deadlift, my bench, and squat are trash as terms of like strength-wise. So I'm going to take a very lightweight with all 3 of them, and I'm going to slowly build them up because it's about becoming better than what you currently are. Doesn't matter what I did in the past. Doesn't matter what my numbers were. I don't care what my numbers were. I care about what I'm currently doing right now, and I have a goal of where I want my numbers to be back to, not what I was doing, but I would like to be in the realm of what would be considered strong. And that's what I'm going to work up to. Oh, there's a little dirt dauber. Well, just go open up the door. He's trying to get out. So let me turn this light off. He wants to get out. He just doesn't know where to go. So you got to kill all the. I think he went. Yeah, he just wants out. Oh no, he's in. Hold on. Let me kill the lights. Because like I said, he's looking for a way out, and he's stupid. Yeah, they're not aggressive like wasps. There he goes. He just flew out. Yep. They're not aggressive like wasps.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and he was just trying to, he got in here and he just couldn't figure out how to get out. All right. I'm going to watch you do yours first, then I'm going to do mine.
Okay.
We need to get you a mic so you can be mic'd up too.
This is where I do my thumbs, right? Like thumbs
Yeah.
and then grab there.
Yep. So what I would do, hold on. I would not grab with the palm
Okay,
up.
do the finger thing
Right. I
again?
would grab with the fingers.
Okay.
Right. Get the calluses.
Lifted,
Right. And
yeah.
then wrap the fingers and then come down with the palm, because if you
Okay.
do it like this,
Yeah, I'm
you're
pinching
gonna
them again.
yeah, you're gonna roll, and I've torn calluses.
And if you'll tell me what mic to buy, I'll buy it.
Okay.
All right. Thumbs, fingers, right.
Get the bar up to your knees. Yeah, take a step closer.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. There you go. And get your back flat.
Flat.
Yep, bend your knees. Nope, you just stiff legged that.
I did.
Bend the knees. Bend the knees.
And the knees.
Bend the knees. Arch the back.
Arch the back.
There you go. All the way up. Yep. Get the bar all the way against your knees. Literally touch your knees with the bar. Yes.
Touch.
Yes. Arch your back.
Arch the back.
Come down further. Get your butt down a little further. There. Now pull from there. Boop. There you go. We'll call that 2.
We can call it 1.
2. There you go. 3. 4. 5. Good. So, and stop in this position. So what I'm looking for is your shoulder to wrist. If your shoulder is in front of your wrist, you're not in position. If your shoulder is behind your wrist, you're not in position.
Okay.
You want your shoulder directly over your wrist.
Like straight.
Yep, straight up and down. Think of your arm as a pendulum. Okay? Think of your arm as a pendulum. If your arm is here, when you go to pick the weight up, it's going to either drag the bar into you or pull you to the bar. If your shoulders are out this way and you pick the bar up, the bar is going to swing out here. So you want your arm as up and down as humanly possible. So that way when you pull, it's a straight gravitational downward force and not an over one way or the other.
Makes sense. Okay. Better form next time.
So butt position, hip, back, that's great. But really what matters is the bar, the shoulder being directly over the wrist is what you want. So some guys will put their shins all the way up against the bar. Some guys will be back here. Some guys will bend down and bring their shins to the bar. Their knees will be over their toes. Some guys, their knees are vertically up and down over their ankles. Some guys have high hips, low hips. That's great. But ultimately what I have beginners, I want to see the shoulder directly over the wrist. And that means when you pull, it's going to be in a straight line position. And then we can start tweaking where your hip position is. Hey, you need more low back, you need more hamstrings, you're pulling with your back, or you're not pulling enough with your hips and you're having an issue with lockout or start. Then we can start adjusting the lower body position. But for now, I want to get you in the most optimal position where you're not learning how to pull over or behind. Like it's a pendulum, you know, and if the pendulum's swinging, you're not in a good spot. The pendulum needs to be dead still. And I can pull with my knees over my toes, or I can pull with my knees completely, like my shins completely vertical. I've pulled both positions, and I'm evenly strong in both positions. It's just the fatter I am, the more vertical knee I like. I want the shin to be more vertical. When I'm fat, I can sit further back and my belly rests on my knees so I can get more of a vertical shin. When I'm thinner, I like to position my knees in a more over my toe position, and that allows my back to get in a better position where I'm not relying on my gut. That's leverages. That's all leverages. It's where's your weight? Is it in your hips? Is it in your thighs? Is it in your belly? It's just a counterbalance. Like where's your weight at in the beginning? Because whenever I was 290, I can literally load 290 on the bar, sit back with the bar, and the bar will come off the ground without me even pulling. I can just get into position, and the bar would literally come off the ground, and I would be completely counterbalanced. And I would just be sitting there holding the bar in the down position, and the bar would be 2 inches off the ground before I even started pulling. So it's just all about balancing counterweights and pendulum swing of position, and it's not as complicated as it needs to. It's way more complicated than what a lot of people like to think about it, but ultimately it's just think of your body as a pendulum and a counterbalance. Add weight to that.
You want to do like 5s or 10s?
I would put it 10. Deadlifts are also one of those things, like the heavier you go, the better they feel until they don't. Get your arms locked out. Get your shoulder. Start to pull so your arms are straight. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. You're going to start to pull without pulling.
Yep. Good. Good. And another thing I want to see, I don't want to see this. A lot of guys at the bottom, they'll do this. And as they come up, their head comes straight. So they start in this position here, all right? Because their equilibrium, their head naturally wants to go up. And as they lift, their chin comes down. It'd be fine if they left their head up the whole time, because what they're doing is they're getting their back tight, their upper back, they're getting it tight by pulling the head up, they're drawing the muscles and contracting them, right, in that position. But the problem is once they get here and their head starts to go straight because their equilibrium, they lose their back tightness and their shoulders slouch forward. And a lot of guys, if you watch them, they're strong off the floor, but they have a lockout problem. They can't lock out. They get to here and they're fighting for that lockout and they can't get it.
That last,
Right, because they lost their back tightness. So if you learn how to keep your head down and get your back tight and you pull, you won't be weak here and not be able to get tight. Because once they lose that tightness, they don't know how to re-get it. They don't know how to regain it back after they get to the top position. And a lot of guys that start with this position here on the bottom, like when you could watch it every time as their head starts to come back down, you can see their shoulders slumping with it and then they get stuck. And then there's guys that will keep their head up the whole time and they'll pull like this the whole time. Those guys don't have an issue. They'll go all the way through the lockout. The guys that are able to get tight in this position and keep their head straight, those guys don't have a problem with lockout. It's always the guys that normally start with their chin up. Yeah, and you can say, oh, no, that's not right, that's incorrect, you don't know what you're talking about. But go to a local meet and watch. Watch them.
The different
Yeah.
styles or
Yep.
preferences.
Mm-hmm. And then the ideal rest time between sets is 3 to 5 minutes. It takes glucose, blood sugar, to go back into the muscle about 2 to 3 minutes for it to start refilling the muscle for energy. So powerlifters get a lot of like crap, like, oh, you guys take naps between sets, and now it takes so long between sets, and you guys, you know, y'all spend 10, 20 minutes between sets. But there's two reasons for that. One, if you want to lift as strong and optimally as you can, you're going to give your body enough time to replenish oxygen levels and glucose levels in the muscle to build a pull performance, to pull with performance, right? And then also, as you get closer to a meet, it's about 15, 20 minutes between pulls. Bench, squat, deadlift, you'll have anything between 5 to 15 lifters in your flight. So you go to pull, bam, and now you're waiting for 15 other people to go. And they have about 2 minutes, a minute, depending on the meet, to go get their pull and then go. So you're waiting 15, 20 minutes for your turn. So if you train 30 seconds go, 30 seconds go, 30 seconds go, you're gonna cool down, you're gonna cramp or tear something or get hurt, or you're gonna lose that, it's like you're gonna lose like your tightness and your muscle readiness, right? Your body's gonna start to relax and it's gonna come out of that state of like readiness. So if you train slower and you rest longer between your sets and you start pushing your sets like 5, 6 minutes between just on your main lifts, when the time comes for meet day, it's not so dramatic of like, right, yeah, it's not so dramatic like, man, I'm used to going 2 minutes and going. If I rest 5 minutes, I start to lose my readiness and it's gonna feel heavy and I'm gonna feel out. So you train like you're gonna be in a meet. So you rest longer, so you're trying to simulate the meet conditions as much as possible. But with everything else, it's 1 to 2 minutes. Just your squat, bench, and deadlift you do this with. Everything else, it's 1 to 2 minutes, go, 1 to 2 minutes, go, 1 to 2 minutes, go, 1 to 2, on all your conditioning, accessory, hypertrophy, all that, you train just like any other bodybuilder and stuff like that. But when it comes to like this movement, you want to replicate it as much as you possibly can for meet day.
Should we be setting timers in between?
No, right now, well, I mean, we're not competing, so right now it's just off of feel. Yeah. Just when you feel ready, go. When you feel ready, go. And then as you get closer and closer to your meet, if you were going to sign up for a meet, that's when you'll start like extending your rest periods longer and longer and longer to stimulate, to replicate like a meet condition.
I want to do at least one.
Yep.
Take it from there. Still one of your tens.
Yeah.
I'm tired of that.
That's like conditioning.
That's right.
Chin down, chin down. There you go. Keep your chin down. You wanna pull your chin up at the bottom. Also too, remember, deep breath at the top, flex your abs. Push your belly out. You gotta push your belly out as hard as you can and flex. Like you're embracing a punch. If someone wants to come to punch you, you're not gonna suck in and exhale. You're gonna inhale and push out as hard as you can. You wanna meet that fist with your belly to absorb as much blow as you can. It's the same way. Like if you go to lift with an empty stomach and a soft stomach, your back's gonna take the blunt of the blow, because your back's gonna have to compensate holding you in this position. If you're in this position here, like let's say my fingers are your back. If you're in this position here, the whole entire load is on the back if you're a relaxed stomach. So when you start to round over, it's all on your back. If you keep that belly tight and full, you're bracing from the bottom up. Takes a lot of the pressure off of the back. I mean, don't get me wrong, the back is still working majority of the load, but it does alleviate a lot of the pressure on the back, and it helps you stay in a stronger position and more locked in. So abs are very important with powerlifting. You have to flex them on everything you do. You have to learn to flex them. You have to learn to flex them. They're very, very important muscles. A lot of guys that don't know how to brace, they leave so much on the table by not bracing their abs properly, not learning how to flex their abs and keep them super tight. So it's like, oh, how important is it? I was like, well, it's as important as breathing. I mean, if you want to lift as optimally as you can, like there's times that like whenever I was first starting, like learning the position of the shoulder was a huge thing. I recorded every set I did. And then I was like, man, why did that set feel so much heavier than my last one? And then I would review the sets, like why? And then I started, oh, well, this is the main thing that's different is my shoulder position. And then I started watching my arm and getting my arm and shoulder lined up perfectly. And then all of a sudden, the pull started becoming so much easier. Same thing for bench, learning, you don't bench here, you bench in here, right? Learn different positions, and it changed everything. And then once I got better at that and I learned breathing, once I figured out holding my breath and flexing my abs, man, like weight that, I'm not gonna say it was heavy and I struggled with, but it was heavy. It was dramatically different. It felt more solid, like, oh, I can handle this weight easier. And then when I would relax, I would feel it like, man, that was super hard. Why was that so much harder? Oh, well, I didn't flex properly. I got tired and I was exhausted and I didn't want to hold my breath and flex my abs because I got winded. Doing a set of 10 squats, right, that's going to wear you out than just and just going at it. Like having to brace and flex here is going to wear you out. It's going to get you breathing way heavier, way faster. It's going to make you feel like you're working 10 times harder because you are. And you're working on getting everything strong as a unit. You're only as strong as your weakest muscle. So whatever your weakest muscle is, that's as strong as you're going to be. That's your limiting factor when it comes to strength. It doesn't matter how strong your back is if your abs are weak. If your quads suck and your hamstrings are strong, you're never going to be strong. If your hamstrings are super weak and your quads are super strong, you're never going to be strong. You're only as strong as your weakest muscle. Same thing for the bench. I don't care how strong your chest is. I don't care how much you can fly. If you have no tricep pressing power, you're never going to have a strong bench. Yeah. I know what I'm working up to, though. That's the difference. I know exactly what I'm working up to. And remember, with this, there is no like perfect time. It's not like, oh, you have to do it in this amount of time. It's whenever you feel like you're ready to go again. Welcome. Yep. Shoulders over wrist. Deep breath, push your belly out. Chin down, just like that. Yep. Yep, hold it all the way till you get to the top. When you get to the top, you can exhale. As soon as you get to the top, you can exhale. It doesn't matter then. Yeah, once you get to the top, you're done. Your shoulders were out in front. You got to get your hips back more. There you go, right there. Chin down, chin down. Okay, so what you're doing, you're snapping the bar. Stop snapping the bar. Load the bar first. Start pulling the bar. Pull your body into the bar before you start to pull. Deep breath and start pulling your body into the bar and then pull the bar. Better. Yep. So what you're doing is you're snapping the bar. You're relaxed. There's no load. And then you're going from relaxed to 100. No. Pull your body into the bar. And what I mean by that is like if you're like this and you're just relaxed, right? I don't want you to pull the bar. I want you to pull your body into the bar, pulling you into position. So you're not pulling the bar up, you're actually pulling yourself into position using the weight of the bar to pull yourself down. That's going to load the whole entire frame. That's going to get all your muscles primed and ready to go. Then when you pull, you're not going from a relaxed state. You're going from a tight, ready engagement to a forceful engagement. Like when we box squat, we don't sit on the box and relax. We stay tight because you're not going to sit on the box and be like, oh, okay, time to get up. No, you're going down, staying as tight as possible. Everything's loaded and tight, and then you're coming back up. There's the difference between singing and screaming, making noise versus holding a tune. We're holding a tune. So, okay, if I was to pull, I'm gonna put my shins against the bar. This is 245. Shins against the bar. I'm gonna pull myself into the bar. Okay, so when I was a fat boy, right, this is my position here. See, the bar comes off the ground before I even pull. I'm pulling myself in. If I let go of the bar, I literally fall backwards. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. Into position, deep breath. Pull myself into the bar, and there it goes. The barbell starts to come off. Once I'm in a perfect pulling position, the bar is off the ground. Now all I have to do is engage. Right? The hard part's done. It's off the ground. And my muscles are loaded. I'm fully primed, ready to go. Now all I have to do is just execute.
You're like pulling it into your shins.
Right. I'm pulling myself. I'm not pulling the bar.
Pulling yourself onto the bar.
Right. I'm pulling myself into the bar. I'm getting everything tight and tensing, and I'm pulling that tension into the bar. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it does now that you've shown me, and I.
Right, so now I'm going to do with the knees over the toes instead of a vertical shin here. Same thing. When I'm doing here, right, I'm rotating my shoulders back, tucking my shoulder blades, getting my upper back tight. And then I'm going to breathe, lock my hamstrings, get my hamstrings tight. I'm going to pull into the bar, and then I'm going to pull myself into position. I'm not pulling the bar up. I'm pulling my body down into position. Then once I get into perfect pulling position, it'll feel comfortable where I know my body, where I need to be, then I pull. I pull my body, I lock my knees, bam, and then I take a deep breath. Abs tight and flex, and now I'm pulling my tension all the way down until I get to where I need to be, and then I'm up. I know, it is a lot.
You have to think about a lot.
It took me years of deadlifting and recording and researching and studying and listening and watching to kind of get it all dialed in and understand the nuances of the deadlift, the squat, and the bench. But man, once you get it and it clicks, it's like, oh, there it is. I figured the enigma out. I got it. And then you pull a bad pull, you're like, what happened? I thought I had it. I thought the equation was there. Mathematically, it should be correct, but damn, I suck at math, right? So, like I said, and it's just when your body's tired, you're dehydrated, You're full of energy, you have proper hydration. It changes everything. One thing out of position, yeah, there you go. Your shoulders were too far behind you on that one.
I'm just practicing.
Yeah, your pendulum was off. Yep. Chin down, right there. There's your pull, right there.
Chin down actually is good because I can see where my arms are.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I figured that one out by mistake. Yep. Your shoulders are behind you. Hold on. I'll tell you where your position's at. Right there. There's your position. Right there. And then pull yourself into that bar and then pull. We'll start pulling.
Pulling because it's like digging into my knees, so I can like feel the.
Yeah, you want to pull yourself into that bar. You're not pulling the bar up, you're pulling yourself into the bar. We'll pull for a single, okay? Good.
Just a single?
Yep, just a single.
And then out
Put a 10 on there.
almost have as much weight as you.
Almost.
Oh, this feels good. Oh, I'm at 100 now, aren't I? 105?
Yeah. 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 I want to get you over 135 though. 135 would be another 10 aside. So once you get you up to another 10 aside.
I'll just keep doing, well, now I'm just doing single pulls, right?
Yep.
Keep adding fives on until I get there.
Yep. Your shoulders are in a good position there, so just pull the tension. There you go. This is going to be my top set right here. I'm going to inch my way up every other week. This is 285, which is incredibly light in the scheme of things. But like I said, I'm weak right now. It doesn't mean I'm going to stay weak. I used to always start off, whenever I'd start a powerlifting program, my starting weight was always 365 from the deadlifts. Like I would never.
Starting?
Yeah, well, my top set, like on the beginning of the program. So like when I would every time I would start a powerlifting program, my very first week was always 365. So I'd always start off with 365 as my top set for my very first week into my program, and then I would build off that 365. And now I'm just trying to build back up to like the 300s and stuff like that. I could pull in the threes if I wanted to, but like I'm not in a rush. I'm not in no huge hurry for anything like that. Like I'm just trying to build back up in a way that I can handle it. I'm much older than I used to be, you know, I'm 4 years older.
Should look at when a meet is.
Yeah. Well, let's get a whole block in first and see where we are. And then we can look at figuring out where a meet's at. Because they're normally in the fall, normally like September, October, November is normally when they have meets. And then in the spring is where they have a lot of meets too, like March, April, May is when they have a lot of meets. So let's get a full block. Let's get a full training cycle in first and then see where we stand. And then we get to see about maybe signing up and how I feel. Because I'm not going to try to hit any PRs. I have a number in my head that I would like to hit just for myself, right? And I know it's not going to be anything special in the forms of like, oh, dude, you're a beast. I'm like, ah, dude, you're kind of a bitch, man. But it's like, fuck it, man, whatever. It's just for fun anyways. Even top elite powerlifters don't make money off of competitions. It's all for fun. So it's just like, all right, let me pull this for 5. Ooh. That's where all that conditioning work comes in for that. Like, it doesn't seem like 5 reps should take it out of you, but man, it really depletes your oxygen levels fast. Chin down. Okay. Shoulders need to come back more. There. You swung it. Did you feel it?
Yeah, I did. My lower back.
The bar swung into you. So you didn't have your lower body in proper position. So what happened was when you picked up, the arms swung to the knees, which pulled your upper body forward. So whenever you're in this position here, I want camera so you can see. When you're in this position, you pull and the bar comes to you, it also throws you forward. It also pulls you forward, which puts way more stress on the low back.
Yeah.
So, but what happened was your lower body wasn't engaged properly. The bar wasn't pulled against you tight enough.
Okay.
So if you were properly loaded, you wouldn't have swung like that.
Can I try that one more time?
Yeah. Yep. Flat back and pull yourself into it. Flat back. Shoulders are too far. There. Remember, drive your hips forward and up and knees back. There you go.
Oh.
No, it's not. Heavy is a state of mind.
Well, my skin doesn't say.
Nah, it's not heavy. Here, put this one over there too.
Another 5?
Hmm.
You have another 5?
No, 10. You need a 10.
No, you have another 5, so I can put it where it goes.
No. There's only 2 5s aside.
Oh, there was on that side.
Yeah, I only have a total of 4 of those.
Yeah, there's only 3 up here. You've got one right here.
Yeah.
I was just gonna complete the cycle.
Oh, yeah, I got you. I thought I put it up already. I guess not.
So we don't have to keep moving at 2.5.
Yeah. That 2.5 is like, I never get any attention. Nobody ever touches me. I'm like the first slice of bread. Everybody touches me, but nobody wants me. Now, I love those little 2.5 pounds, man. I use those so much.
I'm not pulling, I'm just,
Huh?
I said I'm not pulling yet, I'm just feeling.
I can definitely tell my dietary habits this weekend were not ideal because I am feeling it tonight. I tried this little diet I seen.
Yeah. Not, you know, like,
No, I'm just gonna pick it up and rack it. No, so I want to try this diet I've been seeing all over the internet, and it just did not give me what I needed. And then I was a little, honestly, lazy on my diet this weekend because I was changing up my diet. Actually, I'm gone back to red meat and rice. Last week I was doing a lot of chicken and potatoes. I just feel like I get more out of red meat than I do out of chicken. So, like I said, I changed it up. And because I knew I was changing it up, I was just like, eh. It was kind of like, was lazy. And I'm feeling it tonight. That last week I did 275 for 5 on deadlifts. Tonight I did 285. Should have been way easier tonight. But it felt worse than the 275 did. And they're like, well, you went up 10 pounds. Of course it's going to feel worse. No, I can feel the fatigue. All right. Let me see if I can. Shoulders are too far. There you go. Don't let those shoulders drift behind you. So what you need to do is you're not tucking you're not pulling your shoulders back, getting tight. Like
back?
Yeah, you're letting your.
I'm like slunching?
Yeah, so the camera can see. You're like this. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong, you're arching, but you're not tightening. So your shoulder positioning isn't where it could be. So you're wanting to come back here, and I keep making you come here. But if you pulled your shoulders back into position, you'd actually be where you're wanting to be naturally for your hips. You're just not pulling your shoulders back and getting your lats and your traps tight. You tuck the shoulders and get them tight, and you flex that back real hard. Like imagine, okay, look, turn around. Imagine, and do this so the camera can see maybe. Here, come right here. Okay, imagine you're taking your shoulder blades and you're trying to rotate them like this and tuck them down into your back pockets. Let's say you have back pockets and you're wanting to rotate your shoulders and tuck them down. And by doing that, you're drawing all this in here and your lats, and you're flexing your lats really hard and getting this solid so this isn't going to move. Okay. You don't want this relaxed. You want it pulled back and just solid.
Okay.
What are you going to?
I guess.
A 25? Yeah, we don't want to max out. We just want to make sure that we get a good load with your top set of 5. So we'll see how this feels, and then we'll just debate going up how much in your next one, and that'll be your top, or if we could keep pushing a little bit further to the envelope. Because this is 145 right here. I'd like to get you closer to 185, but like I said, we all have a starting point. And the main thing is making sure we have our form integrity. Once your form starts to really break down, that's where we know we're kind of like at a point where like, okay, this is where we need to start building from here up because your form is breaking down at this point. And that's what I've been looking for, is where your form's starting to break down. So far, you've been holding pretty good. You got to learn how to get the heavier you go, the more crucial it is to get your back tight, get your abs tight, flex your belly as hard as you can, and pull that tension before you start to pull. It becomes way more crucial the heavier you get. And as soon as you miss one key movement, you can see the form breakdown. And if you replicate that breakdown over and over again, we have a weak area we have to bring up, you know. Remember, get tight. Pull yourself into the bar. Get tight. There you go. Deep breath and flex your abs. Good. Don't let your chin come up when you pull. Keep your chin down. As soon as you start to pull, you want to crank your neck up. What I'm going to have to do if you do that again is I'm going to put something under your chin that you have to hold. Yeah, and if your chin comes up, it's going to remind you real quick, like, oh, damn. Okay, let's go up by 2.5 pounds a side. Let's get you to 150. I'll feel better about getting you to 150 tonight and building off of that. And then we'll pull for 5 on this one. I would say, let's go buy some bumper plates. That way we could get you to the diameter we need you to be, so that way you could pull off the floor for all your deadlifts. Because if we buy bumper plates, you could get 15-pound bumper plates that are the same size as the 45s. But I'm not going to buy bumper plates because I don't need bumper plates. I just need you to get stronger.
I'm working on it.
Well, try harder. It's only week 2. You're going to make a lot.
No such thing as try. You're either doing it or you're not.
You're either a doer or you're a don'ter. I'm a doer. I'm a doer. You ever seen Pain and Gain? Mark Wahlberg, yeah. Mark Wahlberg and they're bodybuilders. So I was like, excuse me, are you a doer or are you a don'ter? I'm a doer. I'm sorry, was that a question? I'm a doer. I'm sorry, what? I'm a doer. I'm a doer. All right, we're gonna pull this one for 5. So whenever you're ready, don't rush it. Whenever you're ready. Pull the shoulders back, flex the back, get the abs tight. You need to lean forward a little bit. There you go. Deep breath. Keep the chin down whenever you're ready to pull.
I'm losing it when I literally go to pull, like my stomach deflates.
Yep, you gotta inhale. Just take a deep breath and just flex. Get your back tight. There you go. Get your back tight. Keep that chin down. You got it. Come on. It's easy. Come on. There you go. Deep breath. Good. Better. You kept that chin down. A lot better. Yes. There's 3. 4. Keep the chin down.
Did I lift it?
Yes, you did. Come on, deep breath. Remember, pull the shoulders back, get them tight. Deep breath, flex your abs, pull yourself into the bar, total tension, chin down, go. That was 5. Good. You still had an issue where you're wanting to pick your chin up. It's a habit. We're just going to have to break it.
Yeah.
So that was a good starting. First time you have ever done deadlifts. Well, a variation of them to say the least, but still, I'm going to work on it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. That was just the deadlift portion. Now we have about 2 more hours of conditioning. I know, like, well, isn't that overtraining? We work this body part out once a week, so we annihilate the shit out of it. And then we rest, and then we come back and beat the shit out of it again. Okay, well, I hope this was very helpful for anyone who was wondering where to start on deadlifts.